as usual. I watched Natalie's show on the way here and didn't hook up the phone so it wouldn't lose battery power. And so I was at 41% when I got here. So luckily I had a few minutes. There was a charger in the pizza place. But I didn't get a lot, so there's a good chance this may be only an hour. So what I did different, let me know if the video looks bad. I am tethering it to my regular phone, hoping that will allow my regular phone to not lose battery power, because this one has 91%. So I'm hoping that since I'm just hotspotting to my good phone, it'll use less power since I'm not actually filming video. So we'll see. This is an experiment. So please let me know if it gets pixelated or blurry or any of that. If it lasts a good amount of time, I will end and go back on my good phone. I am in the shade. I'm sorry, I'm pointing at the wall. This is a hard walk because I have my tripod connected already. And till I get there. That way I don't have to do much. Oh, look, we've got a crowd. That looks like possibly Scientologists giving them a hard time. I'm going to walk close to them. See what happens.
Keep doing that.
Thanks. At least 3 days a week. Alright, guys. Sorry, it's the way it holds my phone vertical, it's off to the right. It's not centered. And I'm looking at the ground, trying not to fall over. Alrighty, I gotta be in the shade. So they already closed it down. I'm going vertical today too. So I don't even know if I've had a chat. Alright, what are these? Hey y'all. I am not seeing the chat at all. Why am I not seeing the chat? Somebody say hello. And I know I'm welcome to live chat. Remember, okay, got it. Y'all can see me or see and hear, correct? Can anybody chat? Because I don't understand why I'm not seeing the chat. I'm vertical, so everything's like different. And I got my stupid glasses on. Let's see. What's this symbol? I'm just hitting. There's new symbols now. Oh, that's Flash. Okay, there we go. Good. Let me know if at any time it gets blurry or pixelated. I am hotspotting to my regular phone because I didn't have enough power. I forgot to hook it up in the car. So I'm hoping just hotspotting to the phone will save power. I need to hide it in some shade. It's hot. Remember, I put it in the cooler. You never know. So, alright. Hi, Cats. Hi, Sunday. Sunday's this channel's sponsor. And Hitzel they're already here. I think she went and took a break. Maybe she said her phone was low too. So I'm just gonna try not to put the phone in the sun. It's hot. Oh, they've already got Talk Tech out and everything. And why am I so close? I'm gonna mess with the New York City. Hello, Francisca. Hey, do you watch Cash Jordan? I watch him all the time. I've never been to New York City, and I prefer like the beginning of his videos when he's showing the neighborhood. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my chair out today. I think it's because of the hurricane. Tomorrow we're going to get some rain, which means I checked the humidity's high, and I have my inhaler, and I almost forgot it. Again, I was walking out the door, literally, and I saw it laying on the coffee table. Alright, I found the best way to do this. Oh. It is upside down. Makes the arms dirty. Oh, there we go. Ooh, I bought this chair special because everybody else uses, you know, those foldy chairs that aren't very expensive. They go in a holder and they close up long, but they're not supportive of the back. So that, nope. Actually, I think I got quite a bit of shade left. Hopefully this is still charged. I didn't use it last time. And it sits perfect height for when I'm in the chair. So that worked out well. I can't see the chat right now, guys. I'll go over it in a second. I know I'm vertical. We're going to get new people in the chat. We're going to talk about what, if you guys feel like modding, I didn't give you a link to mod. That was just a thank you. I don't expect. Alrighty. Gotta have this out in case somebody messes with me. It's just, I just use it for a while. Got a bit of a breeze today. I may not have to turn it on. That would be awesome if I don't. Alrighty. Okay, I'm gonna shake the camera, guys. I gotta get it set up. And I have to make darn sure it's not in the sun. You can't hear me. Oh, okay, because I was too far away. So next time I do this, and I'm on a different phone, so I'm not sure how good. I think you would have heard me on my other phone. This is an older phone. Can you hear me okay now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I'm shaking the camera. Look away. Getting it low. As low as you. As low as you can. Okay. I don't want to be too high because then you have to look up my nose when I'm chatting. So when I'm vertical, there's a piece on my tripod that holds the phone this way. Well, to do vertical, it flips up like this. So it's to the right of the tripod now. So while I was walking, all you guys saw was the wall, and I didn't even realize it. All right, let me look. Okay, good. I found one of my mics. I threw them in my backpack after Cedar Park last time. So I didn't put Velcro on this one, though. I am going to get my fan on. So let me look through. Okay. Yeah, Francisca, I do vertical once a week just because, yes, we get more trolls, but I've gotten to so many new people that don't know about Scientology. I've had so many people jump on the last 2 times. I lost 20 subscribers in the last week, I think, because I wasn't very active. And so, like, the last 2 times I went, I'm not doing it for subscribers. It's just showing you how many new people we get to. So, like, the first time I got, like, 50. The second time I got, like, 30, because when they realized what we were here for. That's why it's so specific in my title, because a lot of people came on and asked, what are we protesting? Somebody else came on and said, where are we? Because it's in the short format. So that's how people are going to see it today. The problem with that is, A, I also hate vertical, but I'll deal with it to get out to new people. So if you don't want to watch vertical, perfectly fine with you going away and coming back next live stream. I'm gonna try to be here tomorrow, but tomorrow night, late, 10 o'clock Central Time, I'm gonna do a members only stream. I'm just trying to figure out how to do members only through StreamYard. I may have to do it just through YouTube. Let's see. So glad to see you out. Thank you, Jessica. Toronto. Okay, we're good on noise. I will turn to the church too. I'm not going to be on me all the time. But going vertical, somebody's going to go through it and just see these doors. So I'm going to try to kind of stay on me a little bit more. Please ask questions and please let me know if the video gets bad. I'm tethering to my good phone because it was low on power. My dumb butt watched Natalie's show on the way here, or listen, and I always plug it into the car charger, so when I get here I have 100%. I had 52% when I got here. Hi Diana. Okay, Popo. My message is I am protesting Scientology. They opened this org, what they call it, in February, right across from the University of Texas. L. Ron Hubbard bought this building 55 years ago on purpose because he wanted to try to get as many young people as possible. They also did the same thing in Chicago. The reason I'm here, being what we call a never-in, is for the last 2 years, I did a deep dive. I got somebody on my feed, Aaron Smith-Levin, his channel's Growing Up in Scientology. And I found out the horror stories from the survivors who have escaped this cult. One woman who's trying to sue them right now, she jumped into the car of a stranger in the trunk, rode 90 minutes to their destination, and popped out of the trunk. Another person tried to escape. These were California escapees. They have big bases in California and in Florida. He was on his motorcycle that they allowed him to have because it's a big base and he needed it. They ran him off the road. He was injured. And the only reason they didn't drag him back is some passerbys called the police because they saw the accident and what happened. So it took a few more months for him to get his wife out. When his wife tried to escape, she made it to the bus station, even though she went a weird way, and they were there waiting for her, and they took her back. So there's 3 levels of members to this church. You have Sea Org, who never get to leave, get $50 a week in pay if their org that they're at makes money. If they don't, they're eating beans and rice. They don't get medical treatment at all unless it's severe. They're not allowed to they can get married in the Sea Org, but they can't have children. So if they get pregnant, they bus them to the abortion clinic. They don't have a choice. And they work in it until they die. And they abuse, the abuse is rampant. If you get too old to work for them, they shove you in a house with a bunch of other elderly Sea Org members, and they take your Social Security to pay the minimum payment on credit cards that they take out in your name, unknown to you, and then, because they know you're going to die soon, and then it'll be void, and they'll have the money. The children get abused, and they get SA'd because they don't believe children are children. They believe that they're what they call body thetans that float around in the ether. We would consider like spirit or soul maybe, but they were here before humans. They came from another galaxy, and this is a prison planet. So when they die, they believe they go into a new baby body. And so the parents look at their kids like, well, okay, you were probably an 80-year-old man your last life. And they don't treat them like kids. They indoctrinate them as children. And then they put them in the sea cadets as children. And all they do is manual labor. They were doing, some of these people that are out now that are in their 30s and 40s, spent 20, 30 years in, they said that they were doing construction work. And they got a rudimentary education on reading and writing, because they had to do a lot of writing in Scientology. Can y'all still see me? Give me a thumbs up. Is the video good? Sound good? Hi, Jules. Okay, good. We're on vertical, so somebody new asked me why I'm here. So there's rampant child abuse, and they cover it up because members are not allowed to go to the authorities for any reason. They have to go through Scientology channels to thanks, Coco. And if you look, Danny Masterson, if you don't know about him, he's an actor in Hollywood. He just got sentenced to 30 years to life. Was the first time anyone has been convicted of crimes inside the church like that. And so they did a mistrial the first time, which was awesome, because the second time they allowed the Scientology stuff in. Because everybody was like, well, why didn't they go to the police? Because they weren't allowed. One did. Back, and this, he's been doing this since the late 90s. He's been drugging and R-ing women. There's like 10 or 12 other women, two who were witnesses in the case, and at least 5 more, at least 10 total that is known inside Scientology. And what was great is they were able to get the papers from Scientology where he admitted to what he did, but he didn't think it was wrong. So they protect, if you're a celebrity, and I don't mean a Hollywood celebrity, in Scientology, if you're a celebrity, if you're a big donor, or you're a rich family and you're a big donor and you mess up, they will cover it up. If you're staff or Sea Org, they will cover it up. That's all they do. They have a special office called Office of Special Affairs. All they do is cover things up and go after people that speak out against the church, especially ex-members. They do some horrible stuff to people to try to get them to stop. Baby girl, Palatka, Florida. Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to be talking a lot because we're vertical. We're getting a lot of new people. So when I jump into somebody's short stream, I got to be talking. I found that out. I've done this twice before, maybe 3 times. The first couple times, I didn't have a choice. Now they've added, these controls weren't here before. There is a control on the screen, not in advanced settings, where I can change it. But I did say, because of the success of the first couple times, I want to do this once a week. So if you're a regular, and I just realized I was touching the ground with these. I gotta lay something down next time. Thank you. All right. There's people walking by. It's like college students. He's still going. He's still yelling. Walking down the street. I love it. Thank you. Awesome. Somebody just walking by for protesting. There's a coffee shop right next door. It's pretty nice. I go in there sometimes. Hi, Diana. If you can mod for me today, I didn't give you guys wrenches to actually be mods. I can do it because my chat's so small, but we're going to get trolls today. Now, here's what I wanted to say to the mods. If they're just being idiots and stupid and just interrupting the stream, just put them on timeout because most likely they're not going to come back. Now, if they're being disgusting or mean or argumentative or talking about other streamers, you can block them. So, like, we had one time, I think the very first time I did this, somebody was in here going blah, 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 blah. I'm like, that guy can just be on timeout. But somebody came in here and was doing something disgusting, saying disgusting things. So, because they don't know who I am and they don't care. So, DJ, you can come out. That's kind of a long ways for you. Wondering if you could tell me what is going on with DUA. I've heard creators allied to a big issue. Okay, Aaron did touch on it. Okay, I'm going to give you the basics because I talked about the moving on and getting over the drama. I hate that word, but that's the only thing I can really think. The disruption. Supposedly, allegedly, he said that he's going to go after anyone that protests. If they're out there protesting Big Blue, he said he's going to come out with a bullhorn and do an anti-protest. Now, before, I was all about just ignoring him, but he's gone beyond ridiculous. And the first couple times Aaron spoke, he said, hey, you were great when you were a protester. If you want to come back out and do what you were doing before, we would welcome you back. He doesn't want to do that. And he has a channel. He has 3 channels that I know of. I know he had to have 2 because his phones got taken. But it's called Streamer Wars with a Z. Streamer Wars. Why would you have a channel called Streamer Wars? So, just trying to failed their IQ test. Yeah, everybody fails it. I don't know how to say your name. Is it now or new? Let me know. That's just to get you in the door. And they tell everybody that you either failed or your life is crap, and they can help you. Give them money. Buy a book, buy a course, $50. But if you go up the bridge and you stay in, you're going to be out tens of thousands of dollars, upwards to $100,000 in a few years. And that's the thing. This is all a money-making scheme. They don't pay their labor force. The Sea Org gets $50 a week, but if their org that they're stationed at or assigned to doesn't make any money, which they don't when we're here because nobody goes inside, they don't get no money, and they do feed them and board them if you're Sea Org. If you're staff, you're on your own. They get $200 a week if they make money. So if they don't make money, then and they work 100 hours a week here, staff has to go get a second job to pay rent. Nadro. Have any of you former Scientology recent of a class action loss? Yes. Damage seemed to be a provable thing. Okay. There are like 5 lawsuits going on right now. In the past, nobody wanted to sue because Scientology has a lot of money, but they're finding out Scientology won't sue you because they don't want to get to the discovery phase. That's why we have 200 channels on YouTube, anti-Scientology channels, under the title SPTV, because we've realized so they're doing other tactics. But yes, actually they are kind of doing that. There's like 4 or 5, there's a group of people that are suing for the human trafficking, the SA abuse, the all of that, because they human traffic and they child traffic, because they get kids 12 years old working for them. Their parents just sign them over. Oh, you thought you were dumb? It's totally made up. Look, here, let me show you. This is how they get them in. Hold on. Look at this. Okay. So, and I'm in front of the org, but I'm talking. And then I went to a suburb. They bus their people to this suburb north of here, and they went through this whole outside mall. I've only been to a couple places. One of our people got a whole box of these, and I got a whole box. So they go around and they pass these out. It's backwards to me. Is it okay for you guys? So, thanks, Ace. It is very difficult to sue Scientology, but it's possible now. Very good answer. Very good answer. Tax exemption just by wearing them out with lawyers. Yeah, they did. I think I heard it was over 2,000 lawsuits at one time against either IRS or agents themselves. They bullied them into giving their tax exemption back. No, you were smart if you didn't join. Reach the end of the bridge of total freedom. Are they done? I think there's continuing courses, like they can do the purification rundown. I think there's other things that they can do after, but I think a lot of them really don't do much. I mean, look, I think there's auditing. I think you get auditing the rest of your life. I know somebody walked by, one of the students. It's kind of, we don't have a lot of traffic right now because it's summer, but before classes let out, we had hundreds of people coming across this intersection after class. So it was really awesome. But yeah, they get you in with the personality test. Let me read this. And they're going to tell you you suck, period. And if you gave them your real information, they will not leave you alone for the rest of your life. I tell anybody that wants to go in and troll, which a lot do. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's the test. I didn't know that. Oh, this is awesome because somebody used to read this out. Because I'm going to say there's a lot on here I would say yes to. The first one, do you make thoughtless remarks or accusations which later you regret? Who doesn't? Oh yeah, DJ. And make you buy all the stuff over again and spend more money. Has what been bad? I missed that. Nothing left after that. Redoing courses and auditing, yeah. I'm only yeah. Don't worry about it, Diana. It's fine. If there's anything going on, let me know. I'll take care of it. They had more than one. Now there is the lady that escaped in the trunk. She has her own lawsuit. She's going through hell right now because you sign a piece of paper when you want to get out. So she escaped, but they got her to come back, and they put you in a room with a guard on the door. They make you sign papers, and you can't leave till you do. And they put you through sec checks, which is interrogations, like why are you leaving? Who gave you the thoughts to leave? Blah 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 blah. And you sign a piece of paper that said you'll go through religious arbitration through the church and not sue, but here's the thing that they're trying to get through the judges is if you're out of Scientology, that should not cover you anymore. That's only between members. A couple people got away with that, and they are having ongoing lawsuits. But she's having to go through the religious arbitration, which is nothing more than her sitting in it. She's not allowed to have a recording device. She's not allowed to write. I think she can write notes. The lawyer can't be present. She's alone. And they're putting her through hell. They're just screaming at her, yelling at her, telling her all these horrible things about herself. And she's willing to go through it in order to win. Does a perfect personality even exist? We are different and that's great. Exactly. But not in here. You're not allowed to have an original thought. You're not allowed to even be kind. They have a derogatory term for that I cannot think about what it is. But if you say somebody is being reasonable, they like to change the meaning of words or make their own words. In the church, I hate to say church, in the cult, if you are told you're being reasonable, or that's a derogatory term. You're not allowed to be that. Hey MJ. Hey now tell me how to pronounce your name because you have the asterisk and I don't know how to change the pronunciation. She's lost in the world. Psych. Hey Psych. I don't know how they don't get in trouble from the get-go trying to diagnose people with depression. Oh, I know. Yeah. I think they actually say those words? Valerie Haney. Yes, thank you. I'm terrible with names. I can remember a story, but don't tell me to remember a name. There's been an example, Render, Headley, and Shelton versus Church of Scientology. Scientology tries to split up in legally separated entities for tax. Yeah, you have to sue like several entities to really get them. I don't remember any total losses, but there was a guy that started his lawsuit in like the 90s and it took years. And he was asking, I think he eventually got $3 million just to make him go away. Yeah, that is the desire that they con people in the cult. Yeah, they get you in. Okay, the building is now shading, so I'm moving forward. If I'm under the tree, there's some sun, so I'm gonna move forward, guys. I'm moving the camera. Oh, I feel so much better over here because under the tree you get spots of sun. I can feel the sun. Alrighty, a little bit more. Don't want to touch their sign. Ooh, I'm like an inch from their sign with my tripod. Let's move over. Alrighty. Hang on. Okay. right with you guys. Alrighty. Ooh, that's better. And there's a breeze. I haven't had to turn my fans on yet. I need to drink some water though. Let's see. But I think most of the lawsuits that didn't go through were paid off. They're like, here, take my. They'll go right up to the discovery phase, and like if somebody's willing to go that far, they'll pay them off to get rid of them. Because in discovery phase, you can get your paperwork and stuff from the church. Soda can things we had to hold. I'm like, yeah, they started saying my life is messed up, basically stuck to my soul. Yeah, what they call them thetans, but they may not have said it to you. They do like to lie. They're called cans, and they're hooked up to an e-meter. They are called cans, and you have to get the needle. If your needle is messing around, then they know you're lying, and they do auditing, which is like counseling / interrogation, or they do sex checks, which is interrogation, and they watch. It's like a lie detector almost, but most members figure out how to fool it. It's not as good as a real lie detector. There's somebody playing music down the street. Where's that music coming from? Oh, that's you. Oh, it's Itzel. Duh. Oh, yeah, somebody said I hear Laura's music playing. I just kind of was tuning it out because I wasn't sure. I thought it was far away. She just has it turned away from me. Thanks, Jack. I appreciate it. Any support you can give, just watching my channel. I'm small, but there's like, it's called SPTV, and now, back in February when I started, there was a lot of the ex-member channels who just went on and told their story, and did shows from home. But the protesting really only started in around November in Hollywood, and we watched it for a couple months. And then when I found out this was open in February, there was about 50 protest channels, including there was a lot in LA. And I'm like, I'm just gonna come down and hold a sign while they open and tell them they're not welcome. I came down all that week, and I'm still here, and I'm live. I'm a grandma from an hour and a half away that knew nothing about YouTube at all, and now I'm here. So I appreciate any support. If nobody watched, I'd still be here, because every minute I'm here is a minute nobody walks in them doors. Thanks, Rika. Though my opinion induced haze, I even knew then how bad it was. Most people now, and what's awesome about social media is it's getting out to so many more people. Ho, you poor thing. Hey, I'm gonna be doing something on Sunday. I read Dianetics, but I'd like to talk to you more when I'm not actually live like this. I'd love to talk to you. Do you have a channel? Because Aaron Smith-Levin, he's encouraging everybody that's ever been in. If you don't want to have a channel, if you'd be willing to come on mine and talk to me, that would be awesome. I'll even block your face if you don't want to be known. So I have my email in the description. Shoot me an email, AA. The weirdest thing that they do that I've heard of, besides the SA abuse, the horrible stuff, I'd say the weirdest thing is the purification rundown. They started this, now, the science fiction writer started this religion in the 50s. So this was probably way back then, and they were treating vets from Vietnam. But all the members do this. You go into a sauna for 8 hours, and they pump you full of vitamins. And one of the vitamins they pump you full of is niacin. And we've found out from ex-members that the amount of niacin that they're giving to people, A, could almost kill them, and B, is going to ruin their liver. It's ridiculously too much. and they're in the sauna way, way too long. So I think, oh no, and then there's this other thing, I don't remember what the name is, and they pay to do this, by the way. This is something they pay to do, and they do it more than once. They also pay for this other thing where they just run around a pole in a circle for 2 hours. I forget what it's called. That's all I can say. Psych. I'm guessing they probably say stuff like, the test is showing that you tend to blah blah, and you may have blah blah blah. I imagine a lot of blahs in their Scientology language. Okay, Diana. Yeah, so happy you're out. Hey, Rika. Groomer. Yeah, Pup Groomer has a lot of printouts on her channel. And I used her little mini flyers up in Cedar Park recently. It worked really well. Seems like they'd be even more successful if they do the exact opposite of what they're doing. If they would just stop abusing their members, we wouldn't be here. Wouldn't be here. If they didn't abuse kids or the elderly or their people, and there's a lot of people that can hear me talking that probably don't see this, because people don't talk to each other in Scientology. If somebody dies, they give a story to the members because they don't want them to know they unalive themselves. So they'll say they died of cancer. So and some people don't actually see some of this abuse. So they don't believe we're telling the truth. They think we're evil and that we're making up lies. And everything I'm getting is from prior members. But yeah, if they would just stop abusing their people, I don't care what other religions do. Don't care. Don't care that they think they're body thetans that live 75 million years thus far. I don't care. I don't even care that, well, I do kind of care, but if they're an adult when they join, I don't care. It's only the children is why I'm here. Because they're taking kids out of middle school and putting them to work 80 to 100 hours a week. So yeah, I totally agree with that. To guilt you into staying like an abusive partner. Yes, BJ, that's exactly, the mind control is ridiculous. A class action lawsuit needs to be brought. I agree. It seems very possible now that you all have joined forces. Aaron should ask his lawyer friend about it. I'm only a paralegal and can't advise further. It's been brought up. I don't know. I think they're waiting. I think they're probably talking about it. They're not going to announce anything. They don't want to. They don't want to give Davey any information. But I think they're waiting to see how these other lawsuits go. You've got Leah Remini's lawsuit. You've got the Jane Doe's suing. You've got Vanessa. Oh, I think I just forgot her name again. Yeah, I hate to call it a church. How did Joe handle health issues if they... Oh, you're talking about Jehovah's Witness, Javier. This is Scientology. I don't know that much about Jehovah's Witness. I actually did have a boyfriend once whose parents were in, and we did study a little, but I didn't get all that much information. Paulo, San Antonio. Thank you. We're in Austin. Right on, Texas. I don't have an accent because I've been in a military town for 30 years. Oh yeah, BJ. They have so much real estate in Clearwater, Florida, where they started in the 70s buying up property just because they don't want regular people near them. They own 93 buildings. And the city council hasn't done anything. You go downtown, there's one side of one block where the building is owned by a non-Scientologist that refuses to leave, and there's all these restaurants and stuff. So a lot of the SPTV people are going there to give them support because they refuse to leave. Other than that, downtown Clearwater, Florida, go watch Growing Up in Scientology and watch one of his Clearwater protests. It's a ghost town. It looks like a movie set that nobody's using. Javier, in some cases CPS do interfere. The problem is the parents sign them over to Scientology, and a lot of times they're afraid because they are a church and they have tax exempt status. Even the cops, there's things they can't do. Their hands are tied. Then if it was a private entity. BJ. What? Did I miss something, y'all? You tell them. I missed it, but my people are on it. Oh, I know. Oh, I gotta turn my fan on.
It's too hot. Sometimes it's nice.
See you next time.
Yeah.
We'll
You've been
be
on.
here tomorrow.
I am too. What time? Up. Hold on. Let me mute. Thanks. All right. We were discussing coming out tomorrow. Okay, BJ. Thanks. I appreciate your support. I know I'm behind on the chat, guys. And I'm sorry I have to look up my nose. I give to you, Kim. YouTube takes too much. I have my Cash App in my description, and there's been a person who's helped me out a few times, which I greatly appreciate. Gas and parking does get a little expensive. I don't mind it, but it's my husband's money. I don't have an income right now. I can hardly stand being in the solder for 5 minutes. I know, Diana. I used to do it when 97, I was trying to go back in the Army. And I would do an hour aerobics class. I'd do 30 minutes of weight training, and then I'd go do 20 minutes in the sauna, but I'd come out. You come out, you cool off, you drink water, you go back in. And it was a wet sauna. Holy crap, I'm behind on the chat, so I don't know what that was at. The purifying effects. Oh, I see. The purification rundown. Paying to run around a pole is crazy too. I know. I'm not going to say the members are crazy, because we have a lot of people who have gotten out. It's just so mind controlling. And if you get out, they destroy families. Every family has been destroyed by this. I guarantee you, every family. If you leave the church, you don't even have to be speaking out. If they declare you a suppressive person, that's why SP's in my name. It's an enemy of the church. You have to disconnect from all of your family and friends that are in the church. And if you're a public or a staff and you have a job with a Scientologist, you have to find another job. If you're married and your husband stays in, you have to get a divorce. Now, Tom Cruise, they don't make you disconnect from minor children. He had no excuse to not have anything to do with his daughter. Oh, I know, Finland loves saunas. I saw somebody build a portable sauna on a trailer one time. I think she said no difference in the doses. Oh yeah, Kiara's, they hate that. Go to Oh No Nora's channel. Her studio is in the garage, and she calls it the gay garage, and I love it. She is so fun. Go find her. Oh No Nora, that's the name of her channel. She's hilarious. She's near Portland. Love her to death. She's an ex-member, and she will tell her stories on her channel. Thank you, pup. Thank you, Nadro. I'm not sure how I'm saying your name right. I agree with you. Kids cannot consent. Yep. 30 plus years educator. I can tell middle school is very important to attend. I taught grades 7 and 8 for years. My granddaughter's going into 7. They need to be there. Yeah, their brains aren't developed yet. Have you been fair game? Sorta. So there was a weekend where they've been swatting the LA protesters a lot, and they've swatted other people. We have Nance Drew up in Chicago. She literally got arrested because her boob touched this guy who was coming towards her, and the police arrested her, and she's going to court. We're trying to help her with her lawyer fees, because who wants to rely on a court-appointed attorney? Getting to so literally one of the first couple of weeks I was here, they had private security for a while, and I liked it because they couldn't call a false call on me, which they've done in LA. In 2 months, they called 24 times. The church actually called because they'd go in and talk to them. This person has a knife. This person said they had a BOMB. This person said he had a pew-pew. And it was all always false. But the LAPD's in their pocket. That's another story for another time. So they couldn't call on me. So somebody called over a VoIP line, computer phone line. SPTVfoundation.org or .com. They're ex-members and they would love to talk to you. That was staff. She had a gold vest. Where was I, guys? It's hot. What was I talking about? LAP. Oh, Fair Gaming. I live so far away, I think they haven't bothered to follow me. So I haven't had anything happen around my house. I have cameras. I have Osa, I have cameras and I have dogs, and my pit bull will eat your face. So they called shots fired at this location while I was here, and that same weekend they called swatting calls on the people. Jessica Palmadessa and the group out there. They have a scanner, and it even said this is a possible swatting. This person is known to us. She's the blonde that's always in our department making complaints. 24 cop cars showed up in 2 helicopters, and it was fake. Anyway, so they called shots fired. 6 cars show up over here, and I'm like, whoa. You can find it. I cut it out on my channel, and I edited it down so it was short. So he comes running up. He goes, did you hear shots fired? I said, no. He goes, you've been filming the whole time. I said, yes. You could tell him visibly relax, because nobody's running. I didn't hear anything. Nobody's screaming. And he came back out and told me it was a VoIP call for shots fired. But that's the best they could do on me, because so eventually they got rid of the security, because they weren't arresting anybody because we weren't doing anything wrong, and they didn't want to pay them anymore. Yeah, they don't want members to be around normals, or they use a derogatory term I'm not going to say. And so that's part of human trafficking. Rehearsed answers, not seeing the person alone, living with the employer, living in cramped and bad conditions, taking your identification papers like your passport, moving them from place to place as a minor. They do that all the time. They never get to see their parents. They don't have a heaven now. Is it now? I want to say now. No, they don't believe in a deity. This isn't a religion with a deity or faith. They call it tech. So L. Ron Hubbard was the guy that created this religion in the 50s. He wrote a book called Dianetics, which I'm going over on Sundays chapter by chapter, because I just wanted to see why so many people in the 50s, 60s, and 70s got in, because everybody that's in right now are 2nd and 3rd generation, because they can't get new members. So they believe that to going up the OT levels, they call OT 1 through 8. If you've seen the South Park episode about, I think it's called Tom in the Closet or John Travolta in the Closet, and they talk about Xenu, and Xenu brought all these people from another galaxy, dropped them in a volcano, and then their body thetans roamed the earth until humans had bodies. It's all true. Every word of that is true. South Park got it exactly right. So to them, they're clearing the planet. They're trying to save the planet from themselves by getting them in there to take courses and going clear in your mind. And they hate psychiatrists and psychology, and if you're on psych drugs, you can't be a member. They don't believe in it. If you've ever seen Tom Cruise, he yelled at who's the girl that was in Blue Lagoon? Brooke Shields. He yelled at Brooke Shields because she came on and talked about postpartum depression, that she was taking meds, and he came out with a really harsh statement against her. I am not keeping up on these Zoom call. Okay, bye DJ. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate people answering too, because I might not be on it. Yeah, the South Park episode is perfect. And they fair gamed the guys that wrote it and produced. They fair gamed them harshly. Where has Pearl and Selfless been at? I have not seen them in a few weeks. They've been here, I think. Go check Pearl's channel. I saw them the other night, but they weren't actually here. They were on their bike. I thought they were coming here on the bike. Who, Pearl? Oh, no, Nora, yeah. And she talks about her journey because she got in so much trouble. One of the it was actually on Kelly Copter's channel. Is Kelly Copter in her interview on Nora's channel, or does she have to go to Kelly Copter? I finally heard her story from start to finish. I mean, she escaped and ended up going back, and what happened was she was sent to the RPF, the Rehabilitation Project Force. It's like the old chain gangs times 12, because she kissed the girl on the lips only, and she was treated like a piece of like an unwanted doll. And you need to go watch her story. It was horrible. And then she was so messed up, and she was in as a kid. Her parents were in either right after she was born, so it was her whole life. So even after she got out, it took her years before, and therapy, to finally realize. And now she's married to a really wonderful partner, and they have 4 kids. I don't know if I think the spouse had kids coming into the relationship, but I'm not sure about that. Yep, psych. Oh, where's my... Yeah. I almost had to use this that day. I hit my sign right in front of him. I think that's why he didn't immediately get physical, because he didn't expect me to try to protect myself, because I'm an old lady just standing here. That they must be shadow banned because I'm subscribing nothing to show up. I'll have to check into that, Brandon. I don't like to go over things in chat that I don't know anything about. So I appreciate the info. I will go check, and I can text Pearl. I'll find out what's going on. They might be taking a break. You know, it's hot out here right now. They might be taking a break. Oh, Brandon! I know, I wish I could have come. The plane tickets got so expensive. When I came to Southern California last time, I was actually visiting my daughter. It was only $100 each way. It was $200 for the ticket. But when I checked recently, it was upwards of $800. Well, that was California, though. I would love I'm coming to Mad Monster next year. Give me the dates, and I will plan. It's a horror. I'm sure they'll answer you. If they don't, I will. No, I'm what you call a never end. I just deep dived the last couple of Christopher. My son's name's Christopher, just go with a C. I wish I would have named him with a K. Didn't think of it. I'm what we call never ends, and a lot of the protesters are. What we've done is we've watched the survivors on YouTube tell their stories, and it was horrible, and it made us want to do something. And this is the biggest widespread protest that goes it's every day. If you hit live, you're going to see a protester in some city every single day. It used to be Anonymous did a great job protesting, and other people back in the 90s and to present, but they would schedule a big, they had 200 people, but once a month. So Oh No Nora is a legend. You have to go see Oh No Nora. I love that she's going more. I didn't used to watch her much because she didn't go live like she is now, and I watched her interviews on other people's channels. Christopher, no. Miss Kim, thank you. I shouldn't have even answered. I knew you guys would have it. I just play one on TV. Diana. Pup Grimmer, I appreciate it. I'm surprisingly not getting any trolls so far, unless you got to him before I did. Yeah, maybe he is gone, Amy. He was saying he was closing up his living arrangements in Massachusetts. As much as he travels, I'd like to see him get a camper or something if it were Salem, Mass, Times, and Scientology participated, so many people would be, for being gay, funny, weird, mentally challenged, you have to be, you can't be mentally challenged and be a Scientologist either. They make what's their slogan? Oh, Nadro. Hope I'm saying that right. Oh, thank you, Diana. Yeah. Anybody in here is helping me out. How many people? Oh, I got 36 people. That's awesome. Oh, yeah, you probably was an interesting part of your day, AA, to have protesters show up. I can imagine life is kind of boring. Wild, I'm typing about mass and you pop in. You know, if I hadn't been a diehard Christian, I could have been a Wicca. I like all, or a Druid, because I still believe in a lot of things that doesn't really. I think I'm caught up. Making the able more able. So that's why we never saw John Travolta's son who had autism. Because even though I think he cared about him a lot, I think the church made him feel conscientious at the least, if not embarrassed. My mom happens to be from Mass. Not boring, more like in a state of fear. Oh, geez, sorry, AA. Janet from another planet. They make the able more able. So if you're not already able, they don't want nothing to do with you. In other words, if you can't work for them or pay them money, they don't want you. So even though we were interested in the early 90s, right after we got married, it was just a passing thought. We would have never been one because he was a E-nothing in the Army. We were poor. And we couldn't have signed up as Sea Org or staff. I would have never done. I had kids to raise and he was in the Army. Brandon, just caught up, but to answer, Mad Monster is a horror convention. Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, I've actually met Lewis. I met him in, I was at the LA meetup and the Las Vegas meetup. And the Las Vegas meetup was the first time I ever took a trip by myself on a plane and with my bad back. So the whole time, other than when I was at the 3 meetups, one I actually created myself, it was a brunch, I was flat on my back in my room recuperating. It was a hard trip, but it was worth it. I got to see everybody. I got to see Kim. She flew down from Canada. And then I happened to already have been in LA. I was near LA. I had to rent a car to come up to the meetup. And when I had just bought my plane ticket, when Steph announced the date she'd be there, so I had to extend my 3-week trip to a month so I could come and meet everybody there. That was fun because they did karaoke at the end. That was fun. And then Houston was short notice, so there wasn't a lot of people there because Andy just happened to be there. And we drove the 7 hours round trip just to say hi. It was really nice. It was really the first time I got to have like a one-on-one conversation with Andy because it was a small group, and my husband finally got to meet him. He really likes him too. He likes the car chases on Nerd Report. I would be interested in that Mad Monster. Let me know next time. Yeah, so it's happening either now or soon, very soon. And I think Lewis from Nerd Report said that he's actually kind of helping run it somehow. And it's in Phoenix, Arizona. So it's every year. I only know about the last 2 years. I've only been with Popcorn Planet for 2 years. Psych. I was raised. Can I ask you something, Psych? There's these branch offs of the LDS, and people think saying Mormon doesn't delineate which part you were in, because you have the polygamists that branched off, and you have the fundamentalists in Texas that the leader went to jail for, they all marry minors, and then there's the regular church in Salt Lake City that's really big. So I get confused when people say Mormon cult or Mormon because of the different what do you call that, denomination? I don't know how to put it. Yeah, Lewis on Nerd Report. I forgot to freeze my water bottles. This is already warm. Man, I forgot to do everything last night. I didn't charge my fans. I didn't put bottles in the freezer. Luckily, my ice packs were already in there. Oh, this was great. I got a breeze coming this way. I got the fan over here. I'm turning this on now, too. Oh, it died. Oh, this isn't working. It died. I gotta watch. Oh, I gotta check my other phone. It was only on 40 something percent. And I was hoping, oh, has my video been good the whole time? Because the last time I tried it to hotspot, I was on campus and it looked horrible. And I think it was because I was on campus and there wasn't a good, let's see. Oh, this is so hot. Why is this so hot? 37%. I'm leaving this out. Wow, it got hot. I put it in there to stay out of the sun. Oh my God, it's super hot. I'd put it in the freezer, or the cooler, but I think I'd crack the glass. Man, I can't even touch it, guys. It's super, super hot. Okay. I'm going back a little bit. Jack. Ireland. Awesome. I just did my DNA test. I'm a little bit, I thought I'd be more Irish. I got a little bit of Irish because my great-grandmother was Irish. But I'm 46, 50%. I don't remember. It was a high number. I got to go look at Scottish. I don't know where that came from. Superpower Brody. No, I'm just at what they call the Austin org. It's just an org, like pretty much everywhere. Let me show you. So they close when we get here. They close their doors and they pull all the blinds. How many religions do you know that are afraid for us to just stand out here with a camera? And their inside is really pretty. They have a cafe over on the right, and on the left is the bookstore. It's hot here in Houston. I bet it's better. Also, do you, Brandon, so you guys live in Houston? I don't know why I didn't figure that out. I think I thought you lived in LA or something. Turning up my fan, getting a little warm. Mormon is LDS. That's what I was. There's FLDS. Okay, RLDS. Okay. Right. Yes. Yes. Well, she broke off because when they moved, she didn't want to. That too. So I think that's up either in. I know, because I know there's a place in Kirtland, Ohio. I'm from Ohio. I got to get a cold water out. So. Okay. Yeah, because you're in Utah, aren't you, or you're in Nevada? Thanks, Fred. Yeah. Because I got lucky, yes, last time I was here, the pizza, I think things happen for a reason. They really do. I think things happen for a reason because that day, the pizza place I take my pit stop in when I get here, because it's an hour and a half drive and I need a pit stop, was closed for repairs, so I had to go to the coffee shop. Well, I ordered my drink, I went and did my business, and I come out and she's ordering her drink. It's Gold Vest, so they said Gold Vest is staff. And then I was already sitting, and I thought it was interesting that, I'm trying not to say this too loud because I don't want to get her in trouble. She was sitting right the table next to me, and I had my wagon. They know who I am. And so we were both waiting on our drinks at that counter. And so I was rummaging through my backpack already looking for something, and I saw the cards. I think Trish is the one that handed them to me. She printed them out. I think she printed them out from Pup Groomers community tab. You can get them there. And it was a little card size, SPTV Foundation. So I just got up, I walked over, and I slid it on the table, and I just said, "This is ex-members that would love to talk to you." And I went back to my business. So, Diana. That's fine. Go, go, go. You don't have to be sorry, Diana. I appreciate. I don't expect people to be here. Nevada. That's right. That's what I thought. I don't know why I said Utah. I think I get them mixed up. SPTVfoundation.org. Oh, thanks, I appreciate it. Yeah, I got in trouble early on because I was too nice. And that was back in February, March. And I'm just like, I just can't be a confrontational person, and I feel sorry for the people inside. I can't do it. I can't yell at them. I yell things to them, like the foundation and the fact that David Miscavige drives a Bentley and has handmade suits and Italian handmade shoes, and you guys are making $50 a week or $200 if you're staff, I think. Are you making that? Because I'm out here costing you money. And if the tech is so good and the communication you're taught is so good, why are you not allowed to talk to us? You should be able to talk circles around me. See, their door's broken and cracked so they can hear me, even with the doors closed. I live in Houston, wanted to check out. Yeah, I saw. My son was going to go to school there, and we went down a few weeks ago, and we were going to stop by the church there, and then I found out it was a mission, and it doesn't open until 7 o'clock, and they told me it was in a really bad neighborhood. So was his school. And luckily, we found out there was a branch of that school in Dallas or Irving, and even though it's like the same distance, it's straight up 35, and we got there with an hour less driving, and he has to come back to visit with his son on the weekends. So I'm like, you need to go here. And it was a bigger school, it had more people. So he starts there in July. He's 36, but he's using up the rest of his GI Bill, trying to get a better job. Yes, Jessica, I need to make those checklists. Because I had my stuff sitting on the porch because I have to squeeze out the door, or I have to lock the dogs in the bedroom, and my husband's trying to sleep during the day, so I was sneaking out the door. Well, all I did was go back in and grab my drinks, and I'm walking out, and I looked at the coffee table, and it was laying there, and I was like, I'm like, I got my tripod, I got my wagon, I got my fans, I got my backpack, I couldn't find my hat, it was in the car. Sign. Luckily, a few things I can leave in the car. Yeah, I do want to go. If you want to, because Paraditology lives south of Houston. I actually do want to go if we can get like a group for safety, and like in the evening, just to let them know we're here, maybe, just once. I think Paraditology wouldn't mind going too. Yeah, the people inside don't actually know what's going on. So I've been listening to ex-members tell us, things we shouldn't be saying that doesn't make any sense to them, like Xenu stuff. So I try to stay with things that might get them to think. Because of the ex-members and their stories, I've heard so many people talk about, well, protesters said one thing to me and it clicked. You never know what's going to click with somebody. So, I didn't even get to check. I'm at 34%. So I've only used 20% in an hour. So it would have been dead if I'd have been, so you guys never get to see my phone. So this would have been dead if I'd have been filming. So I use the fold phone. This comes off, it's magnetic, and then this is usually in my holder with the strap. I got this phone solely because you could get cases like a purse. That's the reason I got it. Is you close it and you can carry it like this. And then I got this sanitizer that matches. So when I'm filming, this comes off, and then it doesn't sit quite stable. So my cheap gimbal won't, I have to lock it. But it's super hot. It's still hot. It must be because I'm hot spotting. I'm surprised it's not killing it. So I'm good for a little, and my battery pack was dead. Because I charged the phone I'm talking on right now. Last time I was here, it wasn't charged, and it's my emergency phone. So I charged it and forgot to charge the battery bank. When I go home, I do a brain dump. A serious brain dump. I forget everything. Anybody we talked about, if I'm supposed to put something in the description. So if I forget, please email me. If I say I'm going to do something or add something, email me with that or put it in the comments, because I forget. I totally forget. I've said I need to have, I have a whole bottle of Rosemar now. I need to have a notebook. I do have one, but I don't always have it with me. Let me get another bottle out that's cold. I don't want to put this warm one back in. I'm afraid it'll warm up the other bottle, so that's just toast. The Z Flip, yeah, that's what I have. I like everything about it except the volume. I could hear my husband's phone. I went in there, I go, what are you listening to? He was in the bedroom, and I could hear him over his hurricane fan, the air conditioner, then my fan, and I could hear his phone. Mine is super hard to hear sometimes. But yeah, I do like it. We had the Note 9. I'm on a Note 9 right now. It's my husband's old phone. My old phone, I'm the one that has like 1,000 apps and games and stuff on my phone because I use it like a computer. My husband has almost 0. So when we got the new phones, gosh, probably more than a year ago now. We got them, no, not a year ago. Yeah, because it was before I was streaming, because I would have got something else. This is working well, except for the fact that my phone is hot. Because I would do this more often, so that I have my phone set for emergency calls. But this phone, because it's not on service, you can still call 911 on any cell phone, even if it doesn't have service. So that's what the reason I have that. You know, I think my voice sounds nasally and high, and I sound like a little kid. Freeloader Debt. I usually say that a couple times. I know. I think it was huge too. I have the A42 S24 Ultra. Cool. I bought this other phone. Because, yeah, so I could do what you do if I'm hotspotting. I could have the 2 phones filming. One on me, you know, like if I'm on StreamYard. So I'm going to do that eventually. So, yeah, Brandon. Email me. It's in the description, but it's scientologywontwin at Gmail. Of course, no commas or any, no punctuation. Whew. SPTV Foundation. Freeloader debt is not enforceable in the real world. It's a church service. They cannot collect. Door's cracked. He didn't try to pull it closed either. I look at the little things that they do. Where are we? A little over an hour. 31. All right. I'm really thankful that we haven't had the trolls that we normally have. That's been amazing. So, knock on wood. Ooh, tree. There's a tree behind me. I would like to leave it on the org, but I have a tree. So I have double shade. I like the trees. So, AA, are you new to my channel? Let me know, anybody that's new to my channel, and tell me how you found me. Because this is why I go vertical. Because I get in people's short streams that wouldn't normally see us. And I think other live streamers are finding it. I hope others do it. I know we hate it. Because I'm in my shorts. I don't do shorts for very long. They're addicting. My husband's on them for hours. I left the house after 11. He gets home at 7 in the morning after working all night. And he was still awake on watching his shorts. So if you're still awake, Thomas, get off the phone. Sometimes he's watching me. Awesome, AA. That's awesome. So glad we found you. Do you know about SPTV? Because it's been amazing. And correct me if I'm wrong. I've never heard of conglomeration of YouTube channels all working together for exactly the same reason. Doing the exact same thing. Tom. Sorry. Wrong Tom. Okay. Glad you're here. SPTV just came to fruition last year. There was a small group of channels who were collaborating. Nobody was protesting yet. And somebody in the chat called it, and they had just learned how to multi-stream together. And they were doing like, there was 4 people doing this multi-stream together. And somebody in the chat said, oh, it's SPTV. And it stuck, and it blew the F up. And I watched it blow up. I was there that day. You don't know me, but I just say this because things happen for a reason. I injured 5 discs in my back 5 years ago, and gravity hurt. I couldn't even sit up. So I was bedridden the last 5 years, sick many years before that. And so I was, Aaron Smith Levin, growing up in Scientology is his channel, popped up in my feed in 2022. And I was like, and the only people I watched religiously was Popcorn Planet at the time. Well, now I only watch YouTube. I'm getting rid of Hulu this month. I keep saying I'm going to do it, and I forget, and then I pay for it. It comes out. So this month, getting rid of it before it renews in July. Anyway, it's stuck. There's no leader. It's not been trademarked, but Aaron Smith Levin was a big cheerleader to all these ex-members he would bring on to do interviews and say, you need to start a channel. Even if you only have one video that's your story, I want to see, this is what as many YouTube channels, anti-Scientology channels as humanly possible, because that way when people are searching for Scientology, they find us and not the couple of Scientology channels. So then, back in November-ish, there was a guy that used to be a cop watcher, and while he was watching he lives in the Hollywood division of LAPD. Now, if you know about the Celebrity Center in Hollywood, they've had the LAPD in their pocket for 50 years. That's all I'm going to get into that right here. I'm going to do a series of short videos on things like that. The things that I talk about on live streams. I see a lot of new people to SPTV that don't know the background of certain things, and I'm going to break them up into short videos. I see a lot of other people doing it too, but they're like really long videos. I'm also going to do shorts about the same thing, just condensing it. So maybe 10 minutes. I'd like to do it in 10 minutes. Anyway, he was filming these cops during a stop. Now, he wasn't attacking the cops. What he was doing is he was showing them that they were doing things that were illegal, and a lot of it was just due to education. It wasn't even that they were doing it on purpose. And the Scientology, he was on the sidewalk, public sidewalk, in front of one of the blue buildings, and the security came out and started giving him a hard time and wouldn't stop. And he didn't know anything about Scientology. And that was the day, and matter of fact, today on the Emily's channel, somebody said that was the day Scientology done messed up. Because William Good had a big following and a big channel, and he started standing outside of the Hollywood Test Center on Hollywood Boulevard. Well, then these young TikTokers started joining him, and they just stood there and talked and joked and had a good time and just filmed. They eventually would say stuff to him, but they weren't mean. And Scientology didn't know what to do about it, so they started calling fake calls on them over and over, and they got them arrested, false arrests, false charges. Almost none of them, the charges stuck. They spent all weekend in jail, and then it was dropped, because it was just the point was to put them in jail. And they would go right back. One of them left jail, I think, went home long enough for a shower and went right back to protesting. And they shut them down just by standing there doing nothing. Well, now they went over to a restaurant, that's a long story too, that supported Danny Masterson every day in court. And one of the Jane Does was DRUG in there, taken home and ARB. And she supported the guy that did that. And so they got protested against. And then we all started. And we just started popping up all over the world now. I think there's some in Paris, UK, and stuff. And so now on the list, if you include activists, channels that talk about Scientology but don't protest, and the protesters, we've got over 200 channels in SPTV now. So go to sptv.space in your browser, and you will get, it's all the channels, and you can click on any channel, and at the top it'll say live, and it'll show you the ones that are live at that moment. Like it'll show me as live, and I'm Miss Kim SP. I used to have a long name. This is too long, so I made it short so people could find me. But yeah, we'd love to see you. There's a lot going on, a lot. It's just getting bigger, and Scientology doesn't know what to do about us. So they're throwing everything they can at it to see what sticks. They've gotten temporary restraining orders against a couple of people. We had an occupation for a week because they took out permits for L. Ron Hubbard Way for like the next two from June and all of July, and nobody's there. And they were editing the permit and showing an edited version to the cops and stuff that said they weren't allowed to go anywhere near there because they had a permit. But they left out the part that said it can't be closed to through foot traffic or people that live there that need their cars. The neighbors are livid because they can't get their cars in and out. But Will went and got the permit, and it said except for through foot traffic. Now they can't stop, but they can walk through as much as they want and film. And once they showed that, security at Scientology had to give up. And so we have a lot of keyboard warriors that are trying to figure out information, that stuff that they're lying on and editing, and the illegal stuff that they're doing. I said that because somebody just came out. I wanted them to hear me. So anyway, we have people that are doing shows about, forms we can fill out and send to the IRS for complaints. Going to our Congress people and asking them if they'll look into getting rid of their tax exempt status. Talking to the IG in LA about this relationship between the LAPD and Scientology, because we have 4 or 5 cameras on them at all times and all the illegal stuff they're doing to the protesters. And they're going in, and people that live in that area are going in and filing complaints. We got people that are like me, I used to be bedridden, that are on their computers and finding out stuff and educating the rest of us. And it's been awesome. It's been totally awesome. SPTVfoundation.org, go check it out. That was a young person. La Poopy Pants, yes. Just cheese. We should tell Osa hello. Oh, I do. Hi, Osa. I do it in other people's channels too. Hi, Osa. Because you know what's funny? Doesn't matter when I schedule it. It could be 3 o'clock in the morning. If I schedule a live stream ahead of time, immediately I have one person waiting. Wonder who that is. Who would be watching my channel 24 hours a day so that it can be waiting? Now I did find out Hitzel, she always is waiting too, but I mean, it's like within seconds. Sometimes I schedule it and and then I come back and literally in less than 30 seconds there's somebody waiting. So tell me. Now that wasn't always the case. The first while because I'm not a big channel, and I wasn't really when I started. And I'm not loud, but I talk to a lot of people. I talk to a lot of the students that's coming by, and thankfully, upwards of 80% already know Scientology is bad. They don't know the details, but they know not to go in there. And that I'm happy with that. And there's that 20%. My sign says Scientology is a cult. Ask me why. And they do all the time. I don't have my good sign. My truck's been in the shop forever, and I forgot it in there. So that's like an old sign. They are AA. It's just It's just a matter of time. And they said the way that it's going to happen is we got to get their tax exempt status revoked, and it's going to be hard because they badgered them so badly in '93 when David Miscavige got their tax exempt status back. They had over 2,000 lawsuits. They got all these members to start lawsuits against the IRS and IRS agents that they bullied them. And then they signed this agreement that made them invincible, more so than most churches. So there's only, of the 5 ways that we can go after them. 4 were taken off the board by the IRS. So the only one we can go after them on is through the DOJ and through illegal activities. And they could be, and last I heard, in California, I think, there was a grand jury investigation going on at the same time the Danny Masterson trial was going on. Those things sometimes take years. And if we can get them on the human trafficking and the child covering up of child abuse and the elder abuse, not to mention the real estate scheme they got going on and the amount of money they have in banks, it's ridiculous. So that's going to be the way we're going to have to get them, is with the illegal stuff they're doing. And the more members that come out and the more lawsuits there are and the more discovery there is, because back in the 70s, they got raided by the FBI because they had infiltrated the FBI, and they found all these programs that they were doing in OSA, the Special Tricks Department. The problem is, if we had people like Mike Rinder, who was really talking about what happens in the church, he doesn't. He doesn't. And if he would go to, like, the trafficking could be done through Homeland Security, he would get immunity for his part. He's so afraid that he's going to get in trouble for all the crap that he did. We know he was in charge for a long time. But he just does a blog, and he wrote a book, and when they did talk about to the FBI, we find out he never talked about the kids in Scientology. He never talked about the CR. All he did was talk. All they did, it was several of them that had left, about the abuse of the execs in Scientology, and it went nowhere. They never talked about the kids. And he never told anybody about the look back window that Child USA was behind making happen. He never told anybody in Scientology. Nobody in Scientology except one got to use it, and she already had counsel and was in another lawsuit, and they knew about it. And it was to sue, or maybe it was for criminal charges, of any perpetrator of Child SA that were past the statute of limitations. 2-year window that ended the end of 2022. That ended in December. And he was on the board of Child USA, and that nobody in Child USA told somebody pertinent. They could have told Aaron, they could have told Nora, they could have told somebody, and it would have been shouted from the roof, from the mountaintops. So that was when I found my husband, who doesn't watch a lot of, he knows enough, because I used to sit right beside him and listen. So he knows enough, and he's very supportive of what I'm doing. When he heard about that, he was livid, because he's a victim of a stranger. He was on his way to school when he was 6. So he has very, that hit him different and hard, and he was pissed. I think if Mike Rinder would have been in the vicinity, he would have been bleeding. So, make that make sense. And isn't he still on the board of Child USA? Diana. I forgot you have the farm. Watch 2 people wanting to leave and then physically held down and shit. Yep, it's happened. Yeah, we know. We've heard these stories, and it's horrible. And that is why it's a cult, not a religion. Because a religion lets you leave. Osa, where's my mic? Wake up. You should come out of the cult. You should have more opportunities to succeed than you think. There are thousands of people in the world that would, will, could, and do help those like you. Yeah, you hear us. Yeah, there's some people that are mean, but we're not evil. There's 2 foundations out there that will help you leave. Wow. Yeah. Pup Grimmers, who I was talking about, is one of what I call keyboard warriors. She's gone out and protested too, but We have so much we have a cooking channel, a couple cooking channels. We've got Pup Groomer and some other people that do crafts and art and stuff, and got a lot of us wanting to be creative again. I think everybody should have a creative outlet. It helps with stress. I'm trying to get my daughter to get back into something. She doesn't have an outlet. You know what? I was gonna buy those diamond painting coasters. I think I'm gonna get a set and send them to my daughter and give her something to do. She has a lot to do. She's got 3 kids. She's got one that's not quite 2, 1.5. So she works from home. So she's usually pretty busy till evening, but I know that the coasters wouldn't take that much time. Just burped. Yeah, they don't usually burp. Saw some Ron Hubbard books in an antique shop I went to. Yeah, I've heard that before. Oh. Had to hand in your devices. That's surprising. So,
No children.
I'm gonna yell, watch out. Your leader drives a Bentley and you make $200 a week. Make that make sense. He also has handmade Italian shoes. And sometimes you don't get paid, I hear, if you don't make money. That's not right. They can hear me through cracking the door. Okay, psych. I know how that is. I got sick in 2010. Took him a year to diagnose me. Another year to find a doctor that knew what he knew about it. And I went from working and teaching adult Sunday school to the next day leaving in an ambulance. And I was so weak, I couldn't hold a remote. So after a few years, somebody told me to get off the gluten, that it causes inflammation and chronic pain and autoimmune disease. It took me another year to do it. But when I did, I was able to get out of bed. I was stronger. I was getting a little bit more sleep. I still was homebound because I was still unsteady and afraid to go out alone. SPTVfoundation.org. It's ex-members just like you guys. Somebody was coming out. Yeah, they told me gluten causes inflammation, and I have fibromyalgia. They said it helped lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, chronic pain. Because I have other things wrong too. But I use my cane because, fibro affects the brain, and it's affected my balance. I had to give up my motorcycle. That was tough. My husband doesn't ride, so I haven't ridden since I got sick. So I was able to babysit my grandkids for quite a few years. But then about 5 years ago, I fell. And I had one bad disc already, but it was manageable. And I injured 4 more. That's when I became bedridden, because even sitting up, we even sold our couch and got a new couch that was harder because I couldn't sit on the couch. I still couldn't sit on the couch, even doing that, because the other one was too soft. So I pretty much just sat in my bed, and so now I'm out on the chase all the time. And if my husband's awake, he's laying in bed because he's not fully awake. He's like, come in here. I'm like, I've been in that room for 14 years. I'm staying out here because the living room gets a little bit too hot. But it's like anything you can do is something. Is more than what was going on a few years ago. Oh, that's too bad, Diana. I hope he's okay. Yeah. I've lost, between my daughter and I, we've lost a couple dogs last couple, and a cat. Yeah, psych. Well, this person was a nutritionist slash chiropractor, and we just got to talking in a store. She just asked me what's wrong with me because I was having a really bad day, and she told me, "Oh, we've got a low pressure system coming in today," and I'm like, I never knew the barometer could affect me like that. So I got out my dad's old barometer, put it on the wall, and we talked for an hour, and she told me to go off gluten and dairy. Well, I couldn't do both, even though I drink almond milk. I love cheese, but I don't drink. I don't eat a lot of dairy. I don't eat yogurt that much. Just the string cheese. I love it. But when I did, and I had tremors too, so bad I looked like I had Parkinson's. Those went away. I still get them. The last time I went live, I was getting in the car. We're in a rental car. And as I'm getting in, my legs gave out. They just do that sometimes for no reason. So the cane's not going to keep me up when that happens, but it helps when I'm unsteady. Sorry, I feel sorry for you. Poppy, it's been a year now since she passed. She was my dog, and it was the first time. And when she came as a 3-month-old puppy, we don't do puppies. My son brought her home. He was living with us. He just got out of the Navy. She attached to me. She was a Chihuahua, and we had at the time 3 other Chihuahuas. No, she made 3 Chihuahuas. 2 seniors I took in, and a pit bull. And she just ruled the roost. And she got lung disease that they couldn't. We had to drive down here to Austin before I was doing that to an emergency vet who had an oxygen cage, and they tried for a week. So if she couldn't get off the oxygen, she couldn't come home. So, you know, I tried. I thought just 2 or 3 months after I did try to get a new dog, but you know, it was like, and it just wasn't the same. He was a good dog. What ended up happening was my son would come over, and this dog was a big loner dog. He just wanted to lay in the kitchen, ignored the other dog. He would play. He was some sort of terrier mix. We thought he was Scottish Cairn. But he would get so excited when my son would come over. Well, my son got a letter. It's pointing at me. It's pointing at me. Oh. We call it chalk tech.
Yes, I know. I just
Awesome.
follow this. Like,
Awesome.
And so does my great.
Oh, that's awesome. I just got a new person in here who's an ex-member that didn't know about SPTV at all.
You're kidding.
Yeah, it's because I go vertical once a week, and it puts me in people's shorts. And so I get new people who have never heard of it.
I forgot your name.
Miss Kim.
That's right. This is Miss Kim.
Oh,
Noel.
my goodness.
I know.
Hi. I FaceTime my daughter all the time. Hi. What's up?
Hi, Miss Kim.
I know. I just wanted to stop and just say
She's
that
been like,
I watch voraciously, and I know
That's how I got into it.
Is it?
Yeah, I deep dived for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
I found Aaron Smith-Levin like in 2022. I binge watched a year of his videos. Couldn't watch them all. And then I started watching all the channels. I watched the day SPTV was thought up. Somebody in the chat said it. And then I watched it blow up. And then when I found out this was opening in February, I live an hour and a half north. So
I know you do because
you know all that. Okay.
Seen you.
Yeah, so I only make it 3 times a week. If I lived here, I'd be here every day just to mess with them. But yeah.
Why has Pearl Snappy? Is she not allowed to come around here right now? She's got some kind of lawsuit.
Maybe that's why. Because somebody in my chat, I didn't know that. Because I don't tend. She has a bigger. I tend to watch the smaller channels more to give them. So I did click in the other day. She was biking around Austin, but she wasn't here.
Yeah, they were biking. Yeah, at night.
I'm gonna text her and ask her because she didn't say anything to me yet. But we honestly don't talk that much. So I'll find out.
You always here by yourself?
Pretty much. Hitzel was here when I got here earlier, and then they left because they'd been here for a while. But no, I don't mind it because if I come middle of the day and Pearl was coming like the later afternoon, we're covering more hours. But no, I didn't. Hitzel and her husband were here. I can't do it because if I get down there, I'll never get back up. SPTVfoundation.org. It's ex-members like yourself.
It's a
They would
call.
love. They don't.
I know they don't listen.
I like to use the freeloader debt. I like to use that. And I just was yelling that your leader has a Bentley and Italian handmade shoes and you make $50 a week.
I know.
If they make money, which they're not because we're here. So,
They're not making any.
yeah.
Well, I just had to come and say hi. And
She got so excited.
What's your name and are you ever in chat?
I'm never in.
Oh, you're a lurker? That's what we
I'm
call a
one of those
lurker.
lurkers. I don't even, because I never see anything live, really.
Oh, okay.
So I've never. Noelle? Do you watch the live ones?
If you go to sptv.space, it'll
Dot
show
space,
you
that tells
dot
you.
space.
That's it.
Yes.
SPTV.space.
Yes.
Remember that. That
And-
tells you everybody who around the world who's on, at what time they're on, and everything.
Yeah, it'll show you who's live at the top, and then it's got. I just went through because I have two channels. When I'm in chat, I'm on my personal channel, and then my
Well, I'll tell
protest
you what I'm gonna do.
channel.
I'm going to subscribe to your
Well,
channel,
thank you.
and I'm going to say hi. I'm Mindy with the bright blue or whatever it is.
That's
Just take care of
awesome.
yourself. They don't ever bother you.
I did have somebody get aggressive one day. That was when I was standing over there, and I had kind of a little fort going with my stuff. And this guy grabbed my sign. It's on my channel. I broke it down to a small video, and it was somebody on something. We don't know for sure. They are paying homeless people to mess with us.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know for sure.
I
But
saw
Colin, a guy that I see a lot, I think it would have got physical, but he came up and got in between us. Yeah, and he said you need to call 911. Well, I carry an extra phone, so I can call. It was dead, so I had to go off my live and call. The guy ended up, because Colin was staying between us, he was going in and out of those business. Then ended up in traffic, stopping traffic, across the street, and it took 3 cops to cuff him. So he didn't. So I brought my cane up. He didn't expect me to be like this. And I think that took him back for a minute.
What is the name of the guy? He's the mean one, the older guy, the bald. We just took a picture of him walking in.
I have a picture.
He's the
I don't know their
troublemaker.
names. Carl Snappy is so much better at the
She
names.
knows them.
And because I'm not over, I'm getting a reflective umbrella so I can sit over there and see both doors.
Okay.
So I have to stay in the shade.
Well, you take care of
So
yourself.
Yeah.
that's why I bring this. I don't know if you were watching a couple, 2-3 weeks ago. I had an asthma attack, and I didn't have it was when we were having so much rain. It's the humidity.
Yeah.
I feel fine today, but I started bringing the chair, which helps.
You've got enough to stay hydrated.
I got my cooler and 4 bottles of water, plus a bottle I bought. I always buy a bottle of water at the pizza place because I use the restroom.
Well, you take care of yourself.
Thank
It
you
was
for
really nice
stopping
meeting
and
you.
watching. We need all the support.
Yep, I know. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Nice meeting you.
That was cool. I had a fan see me. That was cool. That's my first, what do you call that? I don't know what you call it, but my first fan that watched me, that knew who I was.
My niece is in West Virginia. So.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm originally from Ohio, so the Army brought us here.
You're from Florida.
No, a lot going on in Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. They're from Florida. When I'm talking, I can't read the chat, guys. Oh, I read that. We were talking about getting another dog, and I do agree. But take your time. I got one that was on a rescue, and I wanted a small dog, and he was a great dog. Let me finish that story. My son finally got his disability from the Navy, and he was seeing a therapist, and he told him he needed to get a emotional support dog. And he called me, and he was talking about it. I said, oh my gosh, you need to take Bodhi. And he goes, I was going to ask. They were perfect. It was awesome. And they had this great relationship. He only had him a few months. And what it was is, he lives in a 4-plex, and there's a gate on the side. And the 2 of the neighbors never ever went through the gate for any reason. The 3rd neighbor, it travels and had been gone for months. and came back and left the gate open. And he got out and literally was hit within an hour. Less than an hour. It was a few weeks. It was just a couple, 2-3 weeks ago. My son was bawling. 36-year-old dude bawling. Because he's never had it. We had family dogs. This dog and him bonded so much. So, yeah, it was two, even though we had 2 other dogs, her personality was missing. She had a very big personality. The other 2 were quieter. And so I ended up getting another Chihuahua, and he's pretty cool. He had just finished heartworm treatment. He didn't have the worst heartworm, and he was a little bit overweight. We got his weight down, and he's got a personality like Poppy did. If the others are playing, he's got to stop their fun. He barks at them. Yeah, it's not, yeah, what I said. He's not the same. I knew that. Now, that's the reason I can't have another cat. Because... what's going on behind me? He said something weird. I don't think she came out of the Scientology building.
Should we go in?
No, that's just free personality.
I've seen him go in there dressed pretty weird. Me too. I want to get land outside the city limits, maybe to put our RV on. I want to go full-time RV, or at least live in it for a little while. And I want goats. I want goats so I don't have to mow. Yeah, see, I would need the same thing. We're actually looking at RV spots you buy in a resort. I mean, they're like $60,000 to $80,000, which sounds like a lot, but we paid $30,000 for our 2 lots. We bought 2 lots, so we had a big yard. So I mean, it's not that, and it's paved. It's got an outdoor kitchen. One had a dishwasher. One has a washer and dryer, and you get a shed. It's already got a table and chairs and a pergola. The one I looked at, and it's literally an hour from where my daughter lives in Southern California. And I'm like, we could easily, and what I would do is rent it out when we're not there. You can do that. I just looked at it literally today and a couple days ago. I'm like, so it's new. It's not anything's gonna happen soon. There he is. You awake? I was talking about you, Thomas. I was like, he better be asleep. Dogs wake you up? Yeah, Diana, we have the travel trailer, but my husband's still working. So I'm trying to make a 2-year plan where we can get a bunch of bills paid off, mostly credit cards. The truck, we have a lot of things paid off already, so that we can live on his retirement and his disability. So the travel trailer we got is too big. I got it because I thought our kids and their grandkids were going to go with us. So now I want to trade it in on a Class C, something I can drive instead, because it's more expensive to get a new, bigger truck to tow the bigger camper than it is to buy a Class C or even a small Class A. I have an ESA dog, Mr. Huey Lewis. I'm his support person. I know, right? I love that name. You can tell you're my age. Thank you, Pup Grimmer. Appreciate that. Let me get another bottle of water. That was 2 bottles down. One in the car. One since I got... Oh, look at the puppy. I love the puppy. And I have my coffee to pour in my cup of ice on the way home. My iced coffee. My ice is melting. Uh-oh. I only have 1 bottle left of water. Xenu in the house. Hello, bear. What's up? And Yugen. Where's Xenu? He's in a galaxy far, far away. Okay, according to the creator of this fake religion called Scientology. He was a science fiction writer who decided he wasn't making enough money, he would start a religion. Awesome, Bear, you know what's going on. Eugen, I hope I'm saying that right. Do you know what's going on? Because I know I'm getting in people's streams that don't normally see me. I am here in front of the Cult of Scientology in Austin, Texas. And they open, you can see in the reflection, all this whole street for blocks is the University of Texas. And he bought this building on purpose in order to get young people into the cult. Only he waited until this year to open it. He owned the building for 55 years. Well, the guy that bought it, he died, and a new guy took over who's worse. He's abusive. I didn't hear that LRH was as abusive as David Miscavige is. He's horrible. Drinking water. So I wish I could switch it faster. It makes me hit it twice to switch to the front, or what it calls the back camera, but only once to come back. So I'm like, if somebody's coming, that's why I want to sit on the corner. I'm gonna get that umbrella now that I'm sitting in my chair. SPTVfoundation.org, ma'am. They're ex-members. They'd love to talk to you. Just have a chat. See what they're all about. She should be retired. She's old. She doesn't have the hunch, though. She's probably staff, so she probably eats better. Thank you, Bear. South Park had a massive impact. Yes, it did. On Scientology recruiting. Sorry, I have to look up my nose with my bifocals. That episode showed everyone just how insanely stupid their beliefs are. Am I overstating their impact or no? Totally. It really put it in people's face that didn't know anything about it. And, you know, David's wife was taken by Xenu. Actually, I think we kind of know where she is. But, yeah, you're spot on, Bear. I think LRH had people sleep deprived and sleeping in the bowl of the ship. He did have them sleep deprived. That's a big thing in the church. And Sea Organ staff is lack of sleep. I'm still not going to retire. Yeah. Because I remember basic training in '86 before they had to be nice to us. The big thing was no sleep. That was the only thing. I was in ROTC through high school. So I was prepared, and I enlisted on my 17th birthday into the Army Reserves. I still had a year of high school, but it was a special program where you went to basic training between your junior and senior year. Then you went to your job school after you graduated, and during the senior year, you went to your weekends. And so I was a changed person my senior year. It changes you. I felt I was too grown to be doing the fun stuff. You know, I wasn't into it, so I pretty much just worked. And I had Tom, my husband was my boyfriend. 62. Not anymore. When people die in their 70s now, I'm hearing people say, boy, they were young. All the time. Because the age is, people are living longer. Thanks, Pup Groomer. Oh, that was your message. This one? No. Lines are still down. Oh, it's your birthday? I didn't catch up. Pulp fiction writer. But yeah, I do think the South Park episode, if people knew to believe it, I think a lot of people probably thought it was weird, then that was it. But it got it in people's brain. You know, that South Park would do something. And usually, if people are a fan of South Park, they normally do their research. They're going to get it right. The other one I liked was the We Want Privacy tour with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. That was hilarious. Yeah. Yes, it's just me. Yeah, I live so far away, it's hard to coordinate. I have to come when I can. I can't come as late as, like, Snappy comes, because we have 3 vehicles. One, last summer, we started smelling burning wires, and it's We haven't had a chance to fix it yet. Our truck is in the shop because he hit a semi-truck tire with rim doing 85 miles an hour. We're in a rental car right now. And the third car, my son drives, and it got hail damage and it got totaled. But he just put the new window in. We're going to go ahead and we can't get full coverage on it because it was totaled. They didn't pay off the whole entire loan. We owe like 3 or 4 payments, which is fine with us. My son's gonna, because there was a lot of water damage and it wasn't from the hailstorm, because what it did is it spider webbed the back window, but it wasn't shattered yet. So water wasn't getting in. It was waiting for the insurance company to do the video walk around that we did to get with, because so many people had damaged those. This would have been early May, that we didn't get the plastic over the back window in time, and so there was water damage inside the car. That's what totaled it. It was the interior water damage. So my son doesn't care. He fixed the window. He's going to drive it anyway. So he'll just have to pay. We're just going to pay a few more payments. And so right now we only have one car. And my husband leaves for work at 9 p.m. So I have to leave Austin by 7 p.m. So I tend to come early in the day. Yeah, that's the thing, is there's a lot of us, but really only LA has the group. It's a bigger, and Flag gets a group because it's easier to get there. I mean, even if you live in Texas, you could be 8 hours away or more. So for somebody to say they live in Texas and want to come protest, I mean, like me, it's an hour and a half. Today, though, I gained 7 minutes. I've never done that before. Maybe some slowdown came off. I was flying today because since classes have been out, traffic's been a lot better. No, Bear, I haven't. No, I can't do it every day just because I live so far. But from the time I leave the house to the time I get back, it's at minimum 6 hours, 5 to 6 hours, sometimes more depending on traffic. So it's just hard for me to get here more than that. So I try to do 3 days a week. And now I'm starting to do a little bit more on my channel from my house, a couple things. But no, I haven't gotten fair game except for when they called the cops to shots fired to this location way back, like March. Because they couldn't call on me directly because they had hired security standing here watching me the whole time. So they couldn't false call on me. But 5 minutes before I heard the sirens, you can see the security guard go look at the door and leave. They called him inside. Funny. Things that make you go, Thanks, AA. I never thought I would be an activist. I'm not that kind of person, you know. But it's people like me. There's people like me, but there's also people that have to find the time too. But I have the time. I'm medically retired. They fixed my back a little bit, enough that I can get around now. So like I said, things happen for a reason. I was bedridden for 5 years, so I had the time to deep dive on YouTube. So then in November, they put the pain stimulator in my back. It took till about January to heal good. And then I heard about them opening in February. And I'm like, they're not getting their claws into our college students. They're not going to do it. And luckily, without me being here, they already knew. 80% of who comes by me already know that not to go in. There's that 20%. There's that one small town girl that's away from home, that doesn't have any friends, it's lonely, that might get sucked in. And that's what I'm here for. And I'm here for the people inside to help them hear me say things that make them think I tell them about the foundations that'll help them leave. There's the Aftermath Foundation that's been around for a while, and there's a new one that is doing great work, the SPTV Foundation. I'd love to do crafts if I can get... Oh, there's a troll. That's fun. Well, I hope everything comes out okay. Yeah, I watched... yeah, Pup Groomer, I've watched her. Okay, thanks. He's just being stupid. I've been really surprised today. It wasn't as bad as before. Maybe it's time of day. Don't get a lot of those kind of people midday. Maybe. But let's see. Oh, I need to check the live streaming phone. It's still super hot. You know what I might do next time if I do this again, which I think I want to? I'm going to wrap this in cloth, and I am going to lay it in the cooler. As long as it doesn't get wet or get touched by the ice. Because the cooler's not that cold. My water coming out is not that cold. And that might help. So, yeah, I thought about doing some different things. So I'm going to do a members only live stream Saturday night late, like 10 o'clock, like I did last Saturday, but it wasn't members only. So I got to figure out how to do... I know how to do members only, I think, on YouTube itself. But I like to use my computer and StreamYard. I don't know how to do members only on there, so I'll figure it out. It's probably in the... I'll figure it out. I'll find a YouTube video telling me how. I've been on here I made it 2 hours. I didn't think I was going to make it that long with my phone. If I would have used my flip phone at 50%, I wouldn't have 2 hours. Yeah, I know. I'm going to do 2, though. I'm going to do 1 late for night owls like myself, and I'm going to do 1 during the day for people that can't make that one. So don't worry about it. So I'm going to do 2. At least. Before the month's up. Do you guys remember, any of you that got the gift memberships? It was all pretty much the same day. Do you guys remember how long it's been? Maybe, I figured you'd remember. I want to make sure I get several in before the gifts go away. People ask me if I have enough water. I've lived in Texas for 30 years. I come with actually 5 bottles because I had 4 in the cooler, and I poured a cold one in my metal bottle when I left for in the car, and I finished that. So technically I've had... There's a half a bottle, full bottle, I've had 2.5, 3 bottles so far. Actually. And with my bladder, it will tell me I will probably have to leave fast when my bladder decides to chime in. But I'm so hot that it hasn't. So I've been here 2 hours. What time is it? 4:19. I liked coming around 11 because traffic home was awesome. But when I hit traffic after 4 o'clock, it means I'm going to be in traffic around 5. And that's okay. Maybe I can figure it out. And Hamilton, Ontario's here. Hey, Ruth. How you been? How are things in Canada? I'd love to be there right now. That's my goal. When we go full-time RV on the road, my husband wants to build out a bus. I'm spending summer again. I'm going as far north as humanly possible. I'm chasing 60 degrees. I want to have to wear a jacket. I remember living in Ohio and growing up camping. Even in the middle of summer, if you got up early, you had to put a jacket on to cook breakfast because it was cool at night. You can't camp here in summer. We never have. We only did it with Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts, and that was it. We rarely did it on our own. Mainly because my husband was in the Army, for 21 years, and he's like, look, I camp for a living. I don't really want to go camping. Hypoglycemic. Yeah. Yeah, I can understand that. Totally. I usually don't eat before my live on purpose. But for some reason, I was hungry today. So when I stopped, I got a piece of pizza. Probably not the best thing. It was gluten, too. So I'll be paying for that either tonight or tomorrow. But it goes by how much I eat. I'm not allergic. So if I just have one piece, it was a big piece. If I had one big piece of pizza, probably won't be that bad. Ruth, what's been going on with you lately? Oh, my fan is coming in handy right now. Are they coming in? Nope, they went the other way. Oh, they got a puppy dog. Oh, you're so pretty. I love puppy dogs. I love dogs. I should have been a vet. Not too much. Not too A phone cooler. Right on. Oh, I don't think that was that bad. Misspelled it a little. I don't know. I was just going to wrap my phone and put it in my cooler because it's hot as heck. Because I'm live streaming from it. It's not in the sun, but it is. It gets so hot. This screen gets super hot when I'm doing stuff. Playing games and stuff. But it's super hot right now. I mean, it was supposed to be 104 out today. Let's find out. This is why I like having this phone ready and film it. By the way, how's the picture been this whole time? For somebody that's been here. Because the last time I tried, it was really bad. 96 sunny, but that doesn't mean anything. Let's see what the index is. I came prepared for the humidity today. I think we're going to get rain tomorrow from this hurricane. Feels like 102. That's not too bad, actually, compared to a while back. Oh yeah, it's gonna, oh my gosh, I didn't think the hurricane was gonna hit our coast, but it's saying it is. Hurricane watches issued for part of the Texas coast. I thought it was gonna hit Mexico more, but I was trying to get the picture. So, you can see it down at the bottom. So now it's supposed to hit, but I know it's been reduced. What that means, I live probably from Corpus, I live about almost 4 hours. That's traffic. 3 hours probably as the crow flies, but we'll get weather. We'll get at least some rain, because you can see it's going up through Texas right at me, because I'm directly north of the coast of the Gulf. So I'm leaving this open to try to cool it. I'm trying. If I had a piece of cloth, I would put it in my cooler. It's cool to me. That week I was having trouble. It was like 110 with like 80% humidity. It was the humidity is what gets you. If it's dry, I'm good. Basement Beecham. Okay. So, when we time out, can they still see me and they just can't comment? I'm curious. So, if anybody ever thinks that it's done and they don't like it, just email me. That's all I say about that. Okay. This is why I couldn't be a mod. I don't have the attention span to watch all the chat. That's why it's hard I'm distracted already. It distracts me a little bit. I should be doing more than just chatting though. It's super quiet. I don't want to yell at this person walking by. It came back around. If anybody feels that they were blocked or anything, email me, because I don't like to do things in the chat. And my email's in the description. So I was gonna say something to them. Their doors cracked a little. Freeloader debt is not enforceable outside the church because it is considered training and or church services, and you cannot collect a debt on church services because it's considered a donation. I hope they heard me. A bus went by that whole freaking time. David Miscavige drives a Bentley, used to live in a $50 million building he built for himself in Gold Base in Hemet, California, which I know you're not allowed to know, but I do. He gets handmade Italian shoes made, and Sea Org makes $50 a week. Make that make sense. That's all I'm saying. Hold on, guys. I'm looking for something. Aw, I ripped my bag that I keep my fans in. I'll have to get a new bag. Meh. I ripped my bag. I keep my fans in that. I'm surprised. Okay, cool. Thanks, guys. We have to be extra careful when I'm on vertical mode because, and I told them to be extra careful because we do tend to get the trolls when I'm vertical. When I'm horizontal, I usually don't get anything. I gotta get wipes that don't cause my hands to stay sticky. I was trying to wipe the sticky off, and it just made them sticky again. Because I get hot out here and get sticky. I need I need sanitizing wipes. If y'all got any recommendations, put them in the comments. I'll go on Amazon and see if I can find something. Since I'm at home all the time, I still, I come out here, but man, that's why it's hard for me to do 2 days in a row, and I'm gonna be doing 2 days in a row, because I didn't come yesterday, because it's still my husband's day off yesterday, because he doesn't work the night before, and we had something to do. So I'm gonna come Friday and tomorrow. I don't come Sunday. There's nobody ever here on Sunday. And I'm coming early in the morning. So I'm pretty much gonna get home, and then have to leave early. I understand, Ruth. Let's talk about, email me and let's talk about it. Yeah. Let's let it go. Let's not say anything to Ruth. Let's talk about it on email. I don't want to talk to you about it. Scientologywontwin at Gmail. Because I did tell my mods to be extra careful today because I'm vertical. And they only time out when if they're not sure. If somebody's not being completely like disgusting, we always do timeout. We don't block. What happened? It said reconnecting. How long was I gone? Joey, please come home. I would like to go home. I'm going home actually, really soon. I usually don't go over 2 hours, which is weird. I thought I was only going to be able to make it an hour. Let's see what. Okay, I'm at 13%. I'm going to have to go. So. I don't know what you mean. How is being live make me lie? I can probably back up everything I say. Okay. We can time out Joey. I think he's just being annoying. I'll do it. Okay. The woofer, you'll have to explain your comment. Because I'll be honest with you, I don't have to say that. I don't lie. I've had a security clearance and I worked at a police station. So, and I don't see the point in lying. I would rather, if I do something wrong, and they'll tell you my last job even, I would rather come up right to you and say, hey man, I effed up, I messed up this report or whatever, because it's easier to get it over with than sit around stressing out that they're going to find out. And then you're going to get in trouble. I don't like the stress. I don't like stress. I am doing a Q&A live. I do it all the time, right now. Ask me whatever, as long as it's not disgusting. Ask me whatever you want. Thanks, Ruth. What I talk about, I got from ex-members that have told their stories. Do you even know why I'm here? The roofer? Do you even know what I'm doing here? Because you haven't said anything that makes sense, and I get people on here that don't know me. And don't time him out unless he gets gross or something. I want to know what he has to do. No, I have no idea. So you're calling me a liar and you don't even know what I'm doing? That's kind of unintelligent. You're not going to make me mad. I'm 55 years old and I've got a incurable disease. I don't have a job. You can't make me mad. I am protesting the cult of Scientology that abuses children and the elderly and their members. Well, then ask me a pertinent question. Ask me something intelligent. You said I wouldn't do a Q&A. I've only got a few minutes though because the phone that I'm linked to only has 12%. So I was about to go. Because it's freaking hot in Texas and my phone's been hot.
Mommy's here.
Mommy's here.
Did I talk to what's his name? Can't answer that question. I don't know who what's his name is. So they wait till the end of my live stream to come in and ask me weird questions. And yeah, my members only live streams are going to be Q&As. And I thought about doing a Q&A for a while. That's not what I'm here for, dude. I'm not here to talk about the police. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to talk about Scientology. If you don't want to talk about Scientology, you need to go find a new channel. Yes. Lord Zeno didn't like these people either. That's why I brought them here. This is their prison planet. But a lot of them don't know that. You have to get to OT3 to know that. And if they ask about it or if they find out about it, they're told they'll get pneumonia and die. Literally, that's what they're told. No, just confused. Well, maybe put the sound on. So this person's in my live stream, not listening to me, trying to figure out what I'm saying. Yeah. Bye. That was stupid. That was stupid. But the head movements make me think you're telling me off. Close. I'm like, give me an intelligent question to answer. About Scientology or me. Anything else, I'm not here for. If I suddenly go off, it's because that phone died. I'm at 11%. I've got 31 people, y'all. Thanks. I appreciate that. 'Cause I know watching this can get a little boring. Somebody's trying to make it exciting today, though. Oh, that sounds nice. Because they don't let their members leave. That's why they're a cult and not a religion. The Sea Org that work in here work 100 hours a week for $50 a week, 47 after taxes. They get no medical care. They're housed by Scientology, but we know that it's in horrible conditions. In Chicago, there are 8 people to a studio apartment on triple level bunk beds. And they only get the $50 if the org they're assigned to and looking at makes money. And if they don't make money by selling books or courses, they don't get that $50, and they pretty much eat rice and beans. Like I said, all the old people that are still in here that have been doing this their whole life with no medical care and no nutrition all have this hunch because their health is so bad and their nutrition is so bad. Then you have the children that are abused because they don't believe children are really children. Because they've lived multiple lives, what they call body thetans, go from body to body when you die. They're like, well, they're looking at a 5-year-old and be like, well, you were an 80-year-old man your last life. So they're abused and not treated like children, not given an education, put in the Sea Cadets to do manual labor, and they're lucky that they can read and write. They have to be able to do that. Then around 12 years old, they're pulled out of school and put on staff or Sea Org or join the Sea Org and sign a billion-year contract. They're allowed to get married, but they're not allowed to have kids. If they try to have children, they're bused to the abortion clinic. Now there is people that you call staff. Now they only sign a 2 to 5 year contract, and they have to find their own living situation, but they work 100 hours a week and get $200 a week, and if the org doesn't make money, they don't get paid. So a lot of times they either have a spouse that has a job or they have a second job so that they can pay some sort of rent. And so that's my motivation to be here, was the child abuse. We know a lot of ex-members that have come out and they cover it up because they don't. The biggest rule about Scientology is you can't go to the authorities, you can't go to the police. So, and we know this from a trial that just happened last year, Danny Masterson. His victims, because they were Scientologists, were not allowed to go to the authorities. And that's why it took them 20 years to get him convicted. People say, well, why didn't they go to the authorities? Because they weren't allowed. One did. One did go, and she was ostracized and treated horribly for doing so. We have a lot of people that have got out as adults after 20, 30 years in, and now the statute of limitations is over to convict their abuser. But they're out telling their story. As long as, I don't care what religions do. The only until they start abusing children and the elderly and generally the people in. It's considered okay to beat on somebody in here if they do something you don't like. No, I actually was bedridden for several years and had the time to do deep dive of the ex-member channels 2022 to 2023. The protesting didn't really start until this last November. So I've watched all these people tell their stories. That's why I know so much. I just deep dived a lot. And so when I found out this org was opening in February, I live an hour and a half north of here. I said, it's across from the University of Texas. This is all the University of Texas behind me. I said that I'm not going to let them get these young people. And the protesters are doing it because it's letting the people already in there and stuck. That we had somebody on here, AA, that used to be a member and watched people held down and physically kept from leaving because they wanted to escape. And they'll put them in a room with a guard. We know this is fact. And they put them through horrible stuff because they tried. And then the protester channels just have been exploding all over the world. We're all doing it. There's a lot of people doing it. And then that also keeps anybody new from going in. Somebody lonely that needs to find something. Because if you go in there, see this here? This is how they get them in. Free personality test. And you go in, you take a personality test, a stress test, an IQ test. They tell you your life is completely messed up and they can help you with their tech. They don't believe in a deity, it's the tech. These courses that you have to pay tens of thousands of dollars for. And people go in debt, credit card debt to do it. Members do. Those are the public. The public is where they get all their money. There's some people that give millions. The chick, I can never remember her name, but she does the Bart Simpson voice. She's a Scientologist, and we know she's given $50 million to the church over time. I'm not attacking the church. I'm not one of those that does that. The things that I say when I'm here to them is freeloader debt is not enforceable. What they do is if you do leave the Sea Org, if you get out but you're not leaving Scientology, you have to go through this horrible interrogating type meetings to get out. And if you get out of the Sea Org or staff, any of the training they gave you, they charge you for. And they call it freeloader debt. And it can be $20,000, $30,000. And that scares them from leaving. But it's not really enforceable because technically it was either training for their job or it was church services. And you can't collect on church services. You just can't. But that's one of the things that they use to keep them in the cult. Yep, and they do regular interrogation. They call it auditing. It's kind of a cross between interrogation and counseling. Because they don't believe in therapy. They don't believe in psychology. They hate psychiatrists. They have a museum of death. Psychiatry. The Museum of Psychiatry and Death. That's what they think psychiatry does. No, it's not a parish. They have what they call orgs. They just buy these buildings. It's a 50,000 square foot building with a little tiny amount of people. They don't have hardly any members. They have like 25 to 30,000 around the world. We have more people watching our channels than that. Hey PETA, what's up? I'm about to My phone's probably just gonna die out at some point because I'm at 8%. I'm doing all right. But I got some new people in here I'm talking to. So yeah, the Sea Org is like their military. The guy that created this religion was a science fiction writer, and he was in the Navy in World War II. So they have a brand. He set it up like the Navy. They used to wear Navy-looking uniforms. He has a ship. To do the highest levels of their classes or courses, you have to go to the ship, which is in Aruba. So you have to pay to get there. You have to pay your room and board, and you have to pay to take that course. And it's like $30,000 to do all that or more. Dovey, it's not gullible because a lot of these people their parents were in, and they got in like the 50s, 60s, 70s when mental health wasn't big. And I'm reading the first book, one of the first books he wrote on Sundays, and I can see how it would have sounded good, that he could fix your mind and all of your problems is pretty much what he's saying. If you just use their tech or their courses. And I can see how people got in and then got the mind control. We're finding out that a lot of the training, these drills that they do, he looked heavily at hypnotism. So it's people that are lonely, people that need help, that are lost. So I wouldn't say go. Now that it's out more, yeah, maybe they should know better. But you know, a lot of the people we see are very old or young. If they're very old, they've been in it since they were kids, probably forced in by their parents. Or if they're very young, they're somebody's kids that they told to sign up for Sea Org. Yeah, it was. Definitely started by a drunk 2-bit science fiction writer. He even said to somebody, this person came out and told us what he said. He said, I'm not making enough money on my books. The way to make money is to start a religion. And when you read the stuff that he wrote in their tech books or whatever, you can tell he stole from every religion, anywhere from Buddhist to even Adolf. I can see the tactics that Adolf used in World War II in here. The propaganda, not letting them look at the internet, not letting them have a phone, keeping them away from telling them the outside world is evil. And that's what they do. And that's why they join in the first place, Muhammad, is the ones really, they're not getting a lot of new members right now because they know the deal. It's all over the place. But 20, 30, 40, he started it in the 50s. He died in the 80s. And this other guy who was worse took over in a coup. He was not the one that was supposed to take over. And he's just an evil little bastard. He's 5'1", and he treats his staff like total dog shit, and they have to take it because their execs high up. And that all rolls downhill. Everybody gets treated like crap. Oh my goodness! Look what just passed me. That's so cool. Except they're gonna poop me on the ground. Do they have bags? I can't tell. Now, you know you're in Texas when downtown 2 horses pass you on the sidewalk. I wasn't that surprised. It was just cool. Weakness, maybe, because a lot of the people that have got out and that are still in are highly intelligent people. And they may be getting something out of it. The problem is the public that are in don't get treated the same as their slave labor force does. And we have an ex-member that was in the chat that they physically, if you're in the Sea Org or your staff, especially the Sea Org, you're not allowed to leave. You sign a billion-year contract. They have been physically restrained in leaving if they wanted to leave. And then they put them in a room and they interrogate them hour after hour after hour with a guard on the door. So even if they see the light and they want to get out, it's almost impossible. And then they'll send them to like their base in Hemet in the middle of nowhere and with security on every gate, and you can't get out because now they know you want to try to escape. Yeah. Yeah, AA, that's who we were talking to. Yeah, they find your weakness and they use it against you. Hence, let me show you, Mohammed, because you look new. This, I'm right in front of the door, and this is what they have out. Free personality test. And you take said test, and then they tell you your life is crap and we can help you. Buy this book, take this course, and then they slowly bring you in. And their facility looks awesome inside. They have a cafe over here, they got a bookstore over here, but they pull all the blinds when I get here. What religion do you know that if somebody's sitting outside just filming you, closes up the doors and closes all the blinds? There's nothing to see in there. It's a bookstore and a cafe, and the people at the front desk. They call it your ruin. He actually has a plan in place, the leader that wrote it all. They call it finding your ruin, and then they use it, okay, they use it to get you in, and then they use it against you if you try to leave. Yeah, intelligence is not a factor. I never call them dumb or stupid or crazy, because I'm reading Dianetics right now, and it's a hard read because that man, he put so much words into something that's simple. But I'm reading it out of curiosity, just like you guys. And I put myself in the mindset of the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, before the internet, before healthcare was, you know, everybody, it was okay with everybody. Oh, you need mental health care? Okay, go ahead. You know, in the 50s, 60s, that shit was hidden. You didn't talk about it. 70s, then you had, you know, the whatever you want to do, man vibe, and these people got sucked in. And now their kids are in it. Yeah, I hope so too. I'm a part of what we call SPTV. It's just a fun name. There's no leader. It started last year with just a handful of ex-members who had channels. And they've encouraged all these other ex-members to start channels. Then a guy that had nothing to do with Scientology started what we call First Amendment auditing outside their Hollywood Test Center on Hollywood Boulevard. Back in, well, he started way earlier, but in November, some TikTokers joined him, and that's when it started. The TikTokers joined, and they shut them down just standing outside, and that was their biggest, what they call body routing center, because so many people come down Hollywood Boulevard and they could get them sucked in. So just by standing outside, you can close them up and keep them from getting new members. And when we saw that, people like me that didn't want these college students sucked in, because you're gonna get, what they're gonna get is what he wanted was some young person from a small town away from home for the first time, who's lonely, that maybe don't have any friends, that sees this free personality test, and they love bomb you when you go in and get you hooked up and then make you feel welcome. And it's slow and insidious, bringing you in, slow and insidious. And then they get people from Russia, they're like, hey, if you join Sea Org, we'll bring you to America and it'll be great. They get here and they take their passport and they don't let them outside. They don't let them come outside as Sea Org, usually. Yeah, they usually escape with nothing. So there's 2 foundations now created by ex-members that will help them with housing. A lot of times they need a GED. They'll help them get a job, because when you tell a job person, and they have connections with people who will give them jobs. But if you tell a job the reason you don't have a resume is you've been in a cult for 20 years, a lot of people will hire you. You know, whatever they need. A lot of times they come out with very little education because they were in it since a kid. If they were in Sea Cadets, they did manual labor all day long. Then they would take them out of middle school sometimes and put them on staff, and then they try to get them in. They have recruiters for Sea Org that go around. There's schools, private schools that are Scientology, and they have recruiters come all the time, and they'll sign you up 12, 13, 14 years old, and you're auditing adults 12, 13, 14 years old and asking them about their sex life. And if they're doing stuff alone, you tell them you can't do that, that's wrong, at 12 years old. And that's not made up. On growing up in Scientology, There's a video where they had a movie they made about it in the 90s and put it out to all the members on how to audit, and that girl has to be 10. And she's auditing an adult. And she is the counselor. That's why I'm here. That's child abuse. You're not allowed to leave the room as an auditor. You have to sit there and listen to whatever they say. Serge Del Mar, he has a channel. He was 14 when he was auditing, and there was a pedo that would gleefully ask for him to be his auditor. You can do that, and make him sit there for hours on end and listen to the horrible things he was doing to kids. And he couldn't say anything. All he could do is write the report and send it up. You can't go to the authorities. You're not allowed. You're not allowed to say no. That's child abuse. And these people have gotten out, and they've had trauma their whole childhood. And that's why I'm here. I'm not going to talk about other streamers, Pasta Man. That's not something I do. If you want to talk about it with me, you can email me at scientologywontwin@gmail.com. Anybody that's protesting, even if two protesters aren't getting along, I'm going to support. Awesome, Mohammed. That's why I'm doing vertical. My regulars hate vertical, but I get into people's streams that don't know what's going on, and that's why I do vertical once a week. Because of people like you that don't know, 2 years ago, I didn't know anything about Scientology. I knew Tom Cruise was in it. In the early 90s, after I got married, we were looking for a new church because my husband's Army, and we were in a new place. And we heard about Scientology, like a commercial or something, and he said, that sounds interesting. Thank God. They would have never got us anyway. We were too poor. And he couldn't join the Sea Org or staff because he was in the Army. But still, thanks, AA. I've done a lot of explaining. I've gotten it down really well, and I've watched a lot of ex-member streams. Yeah. If you're Muslim, this will be interesting. Oh gosh, what are they called? It's one of the is something of Islam, but they're like a separate entity because they're kind of really radical in the United States. Something of Islam. They are taking Scientology courses. The leader, and if you told me his name, I'd know it. See, I forget names. I can remember information, but I suck at names. NOI. The NOI is signed up with Scientology, and he's getting all of his people. We've even seen videos of them at the Friday night graduations talking about how it's helped them so much. And for Scientology, all it is money for them. And if you bring them in and they spend money, whoever brought you in, the leader of the NOI, gets a percentage. So he's making money. That's all it is. Yeah, they try to tell people that you can be Muslim and be a Scientologist, or you can be a Christian, you can be a Scientologist. But once you get in, it does not work. Yep, it's a cult. Don't have anything to do with it. Yeah. SPTV.space is all the channels that are either an activist, helping talk, there's people that are like news, pop culture news type channels that have our people on, ex-members that have them on their channels, and then at the top of SPTV.space, you'll see who's live at that moment. And there's a lot of ex-member channels on there. Growing up at Scientology, I do push a lot because he's easy to listen to. He explains it really well. He's not like angry and, pounding the desk. He really gives, he's the one that I deep dive into that came into my feed in 2022. And I watched a year of his videos, and then he started doing nothing but lives in 2023. And he goes after Just all of it. Just all of it. And he has other people on his channel. And it's a really good intro. And then from him, you can branch off to other people. But he's a really good one to start with. And you can go through and pick and choose, you know, the topics that you want. He really, he actually was in court during the Danny Masterson trial and really talked a lot about that. Jen. They said I could be a Christian and be in, but when I arrived in Florida, the ethics officer basically told me I could not go to church on Sunday because I needed to focus on my training. Exactly. They make it impossible for you to do. The Nation of Islam, NOI. Oh, pup rumor. See, I don't even need to answer. She's like me. She's done the deep dives that I've done. What is this hair back here that has come out of my ponytail? It's driving me crazy. I fold my ponytail so it doesn't fly around. But yeah, that was a weird partnership. The NOI and doing courses in Scientology. So that was weird. And I think you'll find a lot of that on Growing Up in Scientology. I believe, okay, my phone went dark. All right, guys, I gotta go. I'm gonna be doing, Mohammed, if you wanna subscribe to my channel, I'm gonna start doing 10-minute videos about information like this for people that are new to it, that don't know about very much. And I will see you guys. I'll be back tomorrow. Don't know what time. See y'all later. Bye.